Well, good evening. Welcome to PJNET live from our kind of a temporary home here in the PJNET bunker man cave. It's very much still under construction. And anyway, even though we're not real pretty right now and real dressed out, there's some important news going on and some things that we're doing that I thought are important enough that we would do this kind of impromptu. If you're watching this and you have noticed that things seem kind of dead on Twitter, you're right. And there's actually a very good reason for it. And when we first discovered this was the day after Memorial Day. I was doing some analytics, counting the page hits, and I was very shocked and disappointed that our annual In Honor Of event drew such dismal numbers in visits to the In Honor Of tweet gallery. So Tuesday I began trying to observe what's going on. Well, I'll kind of shorten it up. The bottom line is, as of Tuesday, I couldn't tell you what was wrong. I couldn't tell you why it was wrong, nor let alone what can we possibly do about it. But Wednesday went by and Thursday, and we've gotten to the point now where I believe that we have in focus exactly what the problem is, and we even have a plan on what we can do about it. So if you have been feeling that Twitter's kind of dead, you might want to pay close attention and run some of these experiments yourself. What I did is relied upon the Twitter analytics. Now, you may not know what that is because you've never had any reason to. So let me show you how you can get to your own Twitter analytics. And you will do this from your profile page. So click right up here and go to Profile. And when you go to Profile, chances are you're going to see this little thing here called Your Tweet Activity. And you may have seen this chart, and maybe you didn't know that there's a lot more to the analytical engine if you click on View Your Top Tweets. Now, for purposes of today and this particular segment, we're not going to go into a lot of detail. I want to introduce you to something called engagement rate. And that little graph is right down here. It's in blue, the engagement rate. Now, when you come into this, it's going to be for the past 28 days. But what I have found and what we are sharing with you today is if you click on that, let me do this for you slowly. Click on last 28 days, and then you have a calendar. So if you'll move over here to the start date and move that down to March, let's just say 21st. And for the end date, if you will move that to, say, April 21st. And then say update. Now, I want you to notice that the engagement rate for the past 28 days is 0.7%. So let me update this. And now we see that this graph takes a nosedive on March 30th. You say, well, that's just one account. Well, some people have been kind enough to share access to their analytics with me, and I am able to examine several accounts. Let's look at Judy Stein's, J Stein's 3. And I have to go get to the segment we were just in. And if I set that date range as I did earlier to March 21st through April 21st and say update, you will notice here on the engagement rate that it takes a nosedive. Now, I could actually, and of course, corresponding with this falling off of the cliff, you will notice that the retweets virtually vanished, the likes vanished, and the replies vanished. So I encourage you to do this experiment yourself on your own Twitter analytics. And if you would like your analytics to be included in our report, I hope that you will contact me on Twitter. I am at DataGenesis. Now, if you would like to call me, my telephone number is 202-559-4656. And I'll be glad to take your call, and you can give me access to your Twitter analytics, and we can include that in the report. Now, what is this report I'm talking about? Well, what we're in the process of doing is we are exporting the data from the Twitter analytics, and we are then going to compile them and put them in a database so we can do a longitudinal study across the entire time beginning in February, March, April, and May. So it's going to be a 4-month longitudinal study breaking down user by user, day by day, and putting this graph in much more detail and context, at which point we are going to call upon disaffected parties out there, such as you may be, to join with us, and we're going to make a list of media influencers and political influencers, and we're going to have a report that can be downloaded from the patriotjournalist.com website. That'll become kind of Twitter Censorship Central, where you will go for updates. But we'll have a call to action list, and we're going to ask that you actually pick the phone up and call the number and basically beg them to see this report, because this report will be very compelling. And the end game is to get somebody to press Twitter to acknowledge that this information certainly suggests very strongly, if not proves as a smoking gun, that the open part of this open platform is, well, about 90% not true given what we're looking at. So if we can get Twitter to acknowledge that their platform is not open, that would cause them to lose some legal immunities that they enjoy, such as if somebody uploads copyrighted content, Twitter is not liable because they're an open platform. But if they are threatened with the notion of being classified as a publication rather than a platform, they will preserve their open platform status basically at all costs. That's a quick, we're going to have a lot more to say about this, so I won't go into much more, and I'll keep this as short as I can. But if you're interested in this topic and would like to join, we want to let you know that there is a fight to join, and we certainly would like to hear from you because we could use your help.